Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Domuto. We're back with another video. Today we're watching when Goku was sent to Yardrat finale by SmugStick. Yes, sir. This will be an hour-long video, so make sure y'all get y'all drinks, popcorn ready, snacks, all that stuff ready, man. Go to the bathroom and everything. I mean, if you don't watch it on your phone, you take me. Never mind. Don't be taking shits while I'm reacting, bro. It's weird. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Trying to get to 1,500 by the end of the year. Let's go.
It's been many years since the Saiyan boy Kakarot was sent to Yardrat. Baptized as Shira, he grew stronger with every adventure, undergoing the Namekian trials for the Dragon Balls. His Yardrat training has served him well so far, allowing him to rescue Earth from the androids and Majin Buu. Even helped him save his world from Beerus, the god of destruction, who has a strange connection to his own master, the Yardrat elder, Soba. Now Goku lives peacefully on planet Yardrat, training daily with Raditz, Vegeta, and Broly, even achieving Super Saiyan God and beyond. But his greatest challenge yet is when Soba approached him with a proposition. Would he become Kami of Yardrat? But he's always felt a deep darkness within his soul. His Saiyan nature conflicted with the teachings of Yardrat. He'd been sent away to destroy a planet, and that forever haunts him. Following the battle against Beerus, Goku has begun his preparations to become Kami of Yardrat. This was a very difficult choice for him to make, but he cares and loves this world. If his adoptive planet was willing to trust him and give him this responsibility, then who was he but a humble servant grateful to accept? He's also begun training with Whis, learning little by little about Soba's past, since he was Beerus' rival for a long time. The only thing he's not really willing to talk about is his old master. Either way, Whis is very impressed by Goku's calm heart, so much so that he thinks early on that he could achieve Ultra Instinct, but there is something preventing him from that, something beyond. Though Whis isn't sure, even so progress is made, as Goku achieves Super Saiyan Blue, as does Vegeta. Broly, on the other hand, has been getting training to learn how to control his rage, both on Yardrat and with Whis, making great progress. Meanwhile, Raditz got his potential unlocked, and continues to train often at the Kaioshin realm. Him and 18 are expecting a child. Goku has been getting his Kami training, even visiting Kami on Earth to try and understand how it all worked. He has been trying to remove the darkness in his heart, though Kami warns him of what could occur. Goku's a little cocky and thinks he can handle it. Is it cockiness or is it naivete? Since Goku believes that righteousness and goodness will always prevail. But Kami continues to warn about the dangers of searching within one's soul. If he wasn't about to be guardian, he would never suggest this for anyone. Even so, Kami trusts Goku, so he allows him to use the Room of Spirit and time to train. While there, he always ends up getting distracted. Sure, it's quiet and empty, but the silence is deafening, anxiety-inducing. The only way for him to calm down is to train, and by the end of it, he just walks out a tiny bit stronger than before. He's gone in there twice now. Nowadays, with all the stresses weighing him down, he prefers to be with Vegeta and Broly at Beerus' planet. Soba is invited from time to time as well, as Soba and Beerus try to at least pretend to be friends. Vegeta did wonder why Soba had struggled so much against the likes of Buu and Frieza, if he used to be Beerus' rival. Though he was offended at first, this did spark the fighting spirit within Soba, and slowly began catching up to his students. In reality, his rivalry with Beerus happened thousands, if not millions of years ago. Back then, Beerus himself was a lot weaker, since it was before he became God of Destruction. After Soba nearly destroyed Yardrat, he cut himself off of martial arts completely, stopping his growth, until a certain Saiyan appeared. And this was life for the Saiyans, celebrating and training as the day of Goku's inauguration drew closer, until a fateful day. After Goku and Vegeta finished their difficult training and returned home, Goku visits Raditz. He had become good friends with his brother at this point, even if they didn't always see eye to eye. Plus, he housed Broly and Paragus nearby and made sure that they were taken care of. Raditz got serious and asked Goku if he was sure about what he was doing, becoming Kami, erasing the darkness within him. Raditz didn't understand that kind of thing, but there was something about his brother that put Raditz at ease. They said goodnight to each other, but Shira didn't go home. Instead, he headed towards the caves, meditating. He had to do it. He had to erase the darkness within his heart, taking a deep breath in the center of the cave where he originally found Soba. He was determined to get this over with once and for all, but the harder he tries, the more it seems to fight back. In his meditation, he sees visions of a dark world world, Tails, Ozaru, planets being destroyed and taken over, the thrill of battle mixed with an uncaring nature, his final battle against Frieza, the ultimate choice to kill him, Boo's laughs, and a mirror of himself. Finally, he hears doctors on planet Vegeta saying how, with a power level like that, he will be sent to a weak planet to take over. But those images fade into darkness, as above him, a dark shadow began to form. Goku was snapped back into the wall of the cave, panting heavily. When he opened his eyes, he saw a dark figure whose eyes pierced through his soul. What the hell are you?
I am what you hid from yourself long ago. The nature you tried to push away. The mission instilled in you as a child. You could say, I am your shadow, Shira Black. But you can call me Kakarot.
At that moment, Goku realized
shit.
he made a mistake. He had foolishly thought that his power was so much greater than Kami's that he could just rid himself of the evil rather than manifest it as a separate being. Arrogance he was now paying for. He needed to keep him there. Black wasted no time in rushing at Goku and pushing him through the cave wall and into the field of spikes. Those spikes flew everywhere as Black transformed into a Super Saiyan. But Goku realized something. It was like he was missing half of his power. Though he could still access Super Saiyan, it drained him so fast he just couldn't pack the punch he used to. The two clashed in the middle with their Ozaru breakers, shaking the field and tearing it apart. This woke up almost everyone on Yardrat as the planet shook violently. Soon, Vegeta, Raditz, and Soba all made their way to their battle site. Distracted by everyone's arrival, Goku missed his chance to stop Black from rising up to the sky and firing a wave of energy into the city, engulfing it in flame.
Too much of a crowd now. See ya.
Black placed 2 fingers on his forehead and teleported away, leaving behind chaos and flames.
Damn,
Nobody could locate
Goku.
his energy. Now Goku descended down and watched as the flames captured his home once again. Soba placed a hand on his shoulder, walking with him into the fire to put it out. As Vegeta explained that the being's ki felt just like Kakarot's when they fought on Earth, when he was sure that Kakarot could have killed him. The next day, Shira was to be judged by the elders. His initiation into Kami had already begun, but was this the right choice? Soba defended him. But despite the elders having relied on Soba and Shira for what felt like a lifetime, they had now reverted back to their original view of them, a Saiyan and a reject who should have never been trusted.
You may have begun the initiation of Kami, but with the recent events, it's clear that it was a mistake. You are not strong enough. You are no Pibara.
Soba exploded in rage. How dare they use the name of Pibara against Shira? Hasn't he done enough? But he quickly backed down when Shira and Hatsuka restrained him and pleaded with him to stop. Prior to departing, Goku turned to the elders and promised that he would put a stop to this. Goku trained arduously all day at Beerus' planet, though it was a little hard to, with Beerus constantly annoying him and poking fun. Goku realized that the power between himself and Black wasn't that different, but both of them had kept half of the whole power. Thus, Goku fought Vegeta to train, and Vegeta took great joy in being so far above him. But this was a hollow victory. This wasn't the real Goku he knew. He was a husk, a section of what he used to be. Goku explained his mindset. He knew he could never live up to Pibara if he had this deep darkness within him, but it proved to be too much. But Soba intervenes.
That darkness you felt lives within all of us. Though I fear the Yardrat have made you far too fearful of it.
But this was different. It was worse. A thirst for violence and destruction, beyond the fighting I enjoy.
A true Saiyan would take those innate tendencies and use it as fuel. Instead, you've rejected it? Have you really lost your edge, Kakarot?
Soba argued that, with Black being as weak as he is, then surely Vegeta and Broly will be enough to defeat him. But Goku claimed that this was his fault, his responsibility. Even so, the larger universe was at stake. If it took Vegeta to stop a massacre, then he would have to accept it, if only they could find him. In reality, Black had already been to several different planets, bringing about mayhem. Yet, he didn't destroy the worlds themselves, at least not yet. It was like he was just looking for powerful beings to fight against, and nothing else. Every planet he went to, he'd find the strongest man and challenge him, destroying the area in the process, with no care for civilians. But it was more than just that. It was planets Goku had been to before. Planets that saw him as a savior were now being threatened by the same face. On planet Namek, Murray and Nail knew something was going on out there, as Nail trained Piccolo, who now looked like an adult, but there was so much death and destruction they could feel. They couldn't pinpoint who or even where, as the being disappeared just just as soon as he appeared. When Goku and the others returned to Yardrat, they found Tarbo there. Planet Tech had been attacked by someone that looked like Goku, though he left the planet intact after fighting Tarbo, Abo, and Kado. He came here to request help from Vegeta and attacked Goku when he saw him, until he was finally calmed down. I don't understand this, but if that man was your doing, then why aren't you out there trying to stop him?
Kakarot has a lot of sins to answer for, but that doesn't discount what he's done for all of you. He's a proud Saiyan warrior. Don't you think we've been trying?
He explains that he's tried to locate him, as he did have the sharpest key location skills around. But it seems like his evil half knows that, and hides his power every time he senses someone looking for him. Suddenly, Raditz lands on the table, battered and beat. He was holding onto the South Kaioshin and the Old Kai. As it turns out, Raditz knew what Black was doing, and had been following his movements thanks to the Galactic Patrol and the Kaioshin. He tried to solve this on his own. He had seen the way this was affecting Kakarot, and he wanted that weight off of his shoulders. But this was a mistake. As they healed him, Raditz explained. He had gone to confront Black a couple of times, once on planet Zune, where he desecrated the tomb of Pui Pui. Raditz had done quite a number on him, but he ultimately escaped. Shin and the others helped rebuild. The Grand Kaioshin even believed that Raditz could in fact defeat Black. The reason they were able to locate him was thanks to the Old Kai's crystal ball. Finding him again at one of Frieza's old planets, full of hedgehog-like beings. Raditz teleported in with Shin, Kibito, and the South Kai. This gave the civilians time to escape with their own portal techniques, as Raditz valiantly fought against Black. But it was clear that his power was increasing. They were near equals now, but Black had one advantage. He wasn't defending anyone. Black rushed in to attack Shin, and Kibito jumped in the way to defend him. Kibito was pierced through the stomach with a keyblade, but this was a fruitless sacrifice, as the blade reached Shin. The South Kaioshin screamed out in pain. Raditz tried to heal Shin, but it was too late. It was gone. That's when Soba jumped to his feet. The Kaioshin was dead? That meant everyone stayed quiet, going pale. Goku placed 2 fingers on his forehead, looking for Beerus' planet, but it was empty. Soba screamed out and punched the table, destroying the entire house in the process. Raditz apologized. He couldn't save him. Goku stood up. It was all his fault. Broly meekly asked how they would find him. They can't locate him no matter what they try. That's when Raditz continued the story. He grabbed the South Kaioshin and teleported to the realm of the gods. The Old Kai and the Grand Kai were freaking out. With no Kaioshin, there would be no god of destruction, and the universe would fall into complete chaos. As they discussed their options, and how they needed to find Vegeta and Broly to stop Black, they heard the sound of teleportation once again. Turning around to see Black, Raditz burst towards him and attacked, but his power was just not enough. But he had to avenge Shin and Kibito. He needed to protect the universe and his family. That's when he felt the hand of the Grand Kai grab him and throw him back, telling him to run. Raditz teleported himself and the other 2 to Yardrat. The Grand Kaioshin gather all of the energy onto himself and explode. His final moments were smiling at Black and telling him that this darkness within can never put out the light that he knew Shira represented. The Kaioshin realm was no more, but a piece of floating rubble. Black was hurt, but not dead. He was only getting stronger.
There are so many powerful beings out there. I'm really starting to get excited.
Goku, back at Yardrat, fell to his knees. He felt more lives being lost, more pain, more suffering. They needed to end this now, but now they couldn't even train with Beerus and Whis. Without any more words, all of the Saiyans stepped out and began training on their own. But Soba stayed inside. If Beerus was dead, then Whis was in a state of slumber with the Grand Priest. They couldn't rely on the gods anymore. But he felt someone touch his shoulder. Raditz. No, we can't. But it doesn't mean they've abandoned us. I have an idea. Soon enough, Raditz had teleported the Saiyans over to the Galactic Patrol HQ. The Old Kai and the South Kai were left on Yardrat, where they were to warn them in case anything happened. Goku was depressed, upset. He didn't care about the patrollers. He needed to get back to training. Jakku was a little scared of Goku, but the Saiyan was actually glad to see him. Quite a band of warriors. I may not be able to guarantee a victory, but I promise, I'll do my best. Follow me. Goku had trained with Miras previously and made great advancements, but he wasn't sure if this is what he needed. That all changed when they arrived at the Galactic Patrol time chamber. 1 day outside is 3 days inside, so it's not nearly as impressive as the one on Earth. But the point is to freely train these Saiyans. He will need a lot of cooperation. Goku still isn't sure, but he knows he can't go back to the Earth time chamber, and training all together here is going to be better. Broly is the one that needs the most work, as his power was still unpredictable. Thankfully, the only time he had exploded before before was at Beerus' planet, so Whis had helped him gain control ever since. But it was Soba's teachings that really helps calm him down. Soba knew all about uncontrollable rage and power, but he also knew about life, spirit, and peace. Admittedly, thanks to Shira. Soba asked Raditz. Previously, he had said that gods hadn't abandoned them. What did he mean by that? For an old master, you sure don't pay attention at times. Haven't you noticed? Soba looked at Beerus, and soon it became clear. He was an angel, and in this case, their guardian angel. Beerus instructed him like before, as he saw in Goku something special, but over and over, he was knocked to the ground. Is that all you've got, Kakarot? Where's your spirit? Your Saiyan pride. I won't allow you to give up, you hear me? Because I need to defeat you at your best. This encouragement made something spark within Goku, what Vegeta had mentioned before, his innate Saiyan desires. They weren't his enemy, they were the drive that pushed him to be stronger in order to save those he loves. You're right, everything I need to win is still in me. He may have my face, but I've kept my willpower. In that moment, Goku's aura sparked open as Beerus smirked, and everyone else looked on. Super Saiyan Blue had been unlocked once again. Finally, progress was being made. Goku was getting back up there, and for a few days, no one heard of Black. The Saiyans had grown exponentially stronger than before. In fact, Beerus was sure that Goku was on the verge of something even greater. But as they were about to continue the fight, Beerus got a telepathic call. The old Kai was trying to reach them. According to him, a young Namekian had been trying to reach Shira, afraid that something terrible had occurred. That Piccolo boy had died. A cold chill fell down Goku's spine. Him and Nail had trained with him regularly, and Nail was very fond of that boy. Beerus thought it was best to continue training, but Goku insisted that he needed to pay a visit to Nail. Vegeta, Soba, and Tarble returned to planet Yardrat, while Goku, Broly, and Raditz went to visit Nail. Broly liked being with Goku and Raditz. They were a lot nicer than Soba and Vegeta. It was a somber day on Namek, but they were already gathering the Dragon Balls to revive Piccolo. Nail and Shira nodded, finding solace in each other. Goku wondered if this had something to do with Black, and with that, Nail finally understood why they felt so many lives being lost across the universe. Suddenly, however, Raditz's communicator began to ring out. They had received a call from Earth. It was being attacked by Black. They told Broly to stay on Namek for now. Even though he insisted that he could control himself, they couldn't risk a planet which had just been rebuilt to be destroyed again. Nail agreed to come along. He needed to get his mind off of things. And so, Nail, Raditz, and Goku arrived at the sacred lands of Korin. They had already been scorched. Goku was shot on the arm, though he avoided it swiftly. He turned to see Bulma on her mech. It took a bit to calm her down and convince her that it really wasn't him who did it. She told them that a man with the same face as Goku attacked as he searched the world for the strongest martial artists. Bulma told Goku how she had collected the Dragon Balls when they were suddenly turned to stone. Goku's heart sank and realized what happened, rushing up to Kami's lookout to see nothing but death and destruction. Popo's and Kami's body laid on the floor. He realized then that it was because of Black that Piccolo had died.
That
The
nigga
link between
evil. Nah, this nigga evil. You killed Popo. Then one thing you killed Kami. Popo?
the two Namekians remained, but Goku had another realization.
shit.
He ran towards the Room of Spirit and Time, only to find it destroyed. Goku arrived at the mountainside, where the old Grandpa Gohan was commanding the charge against Black. 17, 16, Krillin, Yamcha, and just a few others remained. But as Goku descended, he told them that it would all be okay. 17 wasn't sure at first, but 16 recognized him. This was the real Shira.
I'm just trying to have a good time here, and you're raining on my parade.
This ends now. I'm not going to forgive you for what you did. 16, take everyone and get far away.
With your power level, you won't serve as anything but debris.
It took a long time to regain this form, but he had achieved it in the time chamber.
I don't care for this color, but this is what true power feels like.
Super Saiyan Blue.
Too bad that old Namekian had to suffer.
Goku roared, the sound of an Ozaru overwhelming the area, and a deep blue aura swirled around his body.
Yes, sir.
Black cocked an eyebrow. He had no idea that Goku himself had reawakened the training. I've gotten a lot stronger since the last time we met.
Yeah, I know.
The two instantly clashed overhead before Raditz and Nail arrived to lend support. They were doing well as 16 and 17 returned to fire blast and cover Goku. It was clear that despite their training, Black was still close to Shira. Over time, however, he began to slow down. He was actually being driven back. As Nail rushed in to attack, he suddenly stopped, his head spinning as Black got the chance to throw him to the ground. Goku asked if he was okay, but Nail looked up at him in pain and anger. Goku focused as he felt it too. Namek.
So, you finally noticed.
Raditz, can you take it from here? Right. Nail turned back to Black and promised to kill him as Goku grabbed him and teleported to Namek. The world was in disarray. Namekians had fled off to the other side of the world as over the Grand Elder's home battled Broly and Black. Broly kept control as much as he could as Super Saiyan, but the world was suffering. Even so, Broly was winning. It was as if Black was enjoying fighting Broly more than he did trying to win this fight. Goku rushed in to support his friend. I'm not sure what's going on, but we have to win. His aura pushed them back as he finally decided to step it up a notch. It took a long time to regain this form and even longer to push it beyond, but he had achieved it while in that chamber. I don't care for this color, but this is what true power feels like. Goku's heart sank. He thought he had advanced beyond blue. He thought his new strength would be enough. But now, seeing Black, his aura, a mix of black and blue, showed that the darkness Black possessed had not only corrupted the form, but helped him push past its limits. Still, Goku had to trust his training. He still had something under his sleeve. Goku was taken aback, but he also smirked. Black wasn't the only one to discover something else. Goku's blue aura deepens, revealing Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. The two halves were clashing fists, the Grand Elder's home falling apart in the distance. Broly and Goku's teamwork was able to really push back Black, but the evildoer had two advantages. He knew exactly how to counter Goku, and tried to anger Broly by mocking him, his father, and Ba, to the point where Broly began to get desperate and burst through Goku in order to attack Black. Nail jumped in to try and calm down Broly, while Goku got a hold of himself. Suddenly, his heart sank. He could feel something calling for him, trying to get his attention. He couldn't concentrate with the anger he felt, but whoever was trying to reach him was using all of his might. Finally, the voice of Soba reached him. Instantly, Goku shut up, his eyes meeting with Black. Too focused on saving others, you forgot about that dump. Goku looked at Nail, who told him to go. They will try to hold this guy back. Broly promised to calm himself down and control the power, though he was clearly struggling. Goku apologized for leaving as he teleported to planet Yardrat. The planet was unrecognizable, as a chunk of the world was now just floating debris in space. The main city was in ruins once more, and he could feel faint life from all those around. Nappa laid on the floor, surrounded by dead Cybermen. Tarbo seemed to be one of the few in the best condition, as he gathered everyone at a location away from the fight. Hatsuka and Yaki were focused on helping those they could. Finally, Vegeta and Soba were battling against Black, but Vegeta wasn't in Super Saiyan Blue. He was instead in just regular Super Saiyan. Goku lifted a building, saving the Yardrat elders and some civilians. They scurried away before he turned to Yaki and Hatsuka, telling them to teleport survivors away to Planet Cereal for now. The first place that came to his mind, to have every capable Yardrat go to Planet Namek and teleport them to Cereal as well. They were in trouble too. Shira, what are you going to do? The connection him and I have is one that I alone can sever. I'm going to end this. Goku rushed towards the battle, landing a clean punch on Black's face, as Soba's eyes lit up with hope for a split second, only for Black to grab Goku's arm and throw him against Vegeta. Vegeta commented on how it was about time he got there, with Goku realizing what was going on. The other beings he fought were mere clones of the real deal.
Right.
Judging by the incredible power this Black had, he was the real deal. I thought you'd be able to recognize a Yardrat clone easier than that. I guess your senses really took a hit when we split. Black appeared before Goku and fired a blast at his stomach, sending him hurling back, as the villain grabbed onto Vegeta's throat. So that's why Vegeta was in Super Saiyan instead of Blue. Black was stealing his energy. He was using Force Spirit Fission. Goku should have known. All those Yardrat abilities he'd mastered over the years were now part of Black's arsenal too. Suddenly, from behind, Shira sensed an immense amount of pressure gathering, as Soba had raised two fingers up, collecting energy from everything around them. As he was about to fire at Black and Vegeta, Goku rushed in, firing a small blast at Black's arm, forcing him to release Vegeta, grabbing him and jumping out of the way, as a ginormous blast sucked in all of the sound and released it back out, as the wave of ki that once long ago threatened to destroy planet Yardrat. Goku's eyes widened. At the very last second, he saw Black place two fingers on his forehead and teleport behind Soba. Sorry, Master. A keyblade burst through the back of Soba. Goku screamed out, "I pained no," with tears running through his face. Tarble and
What the fuck
Hatsuka
is
helped
this?
out. The monster shrunk down to avoid them,
Why my
rising
nigga
again to
Soba?
grab them by the neck. Upon seeing his brother like this, Vegeta mustered the energy to achieve Super Saiyan God just for a second, rushing at Black and pushing him away, yelling at Tarble and Hatsuka to leave Yardrat as Goku told them. But Hatsuka remained in place by Soba's side. Hatsuka was able to stabilize him by healing him.
Shira, Hatsuka, my boys, do not fear. You have given this old hermit the strength to fight again.
Don't talk like that.
You two need to leave. Escape. Get stronger. Yardrat may have fallen today, but it is your strength that will keep it alive.
No, we can't leave our home.
You two have taught me I still have something worth fighting for. My old master, Suppu, he was the old god of destruction. Beerus has far surpassed him in power now, but back then, he was what we strived for. I thought it was ridiculous back then. He gave that position up. All the glory, all the power, because he was tired of destruction. For once, he wanted to save something. Beerus was stronger, more gifted. He didn't care about our master, but he was better suited for the role. I was the strongest of our society here in Yardrat, but I never fit in. I wanted more. I wanted more power, but I was sworn to the Yardrat rules and code. Beerus had this as an advantage. He was ruthless in our final battle for that role. In our struggle, I teleported all over the universe. When I knew I was going to lose, I instinctively landed here, but I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. Pibara and the elders pleaded with me, but I gave up all my ideals, all ties to Yardrat, to try and obtain the role of God of Destruction. Suppu watched the battles. He said that it was enough, that this final fight shouldn't be taking place on inhabited worlds, that we weren't God of Destructions yet, that it wasn't our right to choose who lives or dies. But back then, I saw that as a weakness. I was forgetting everything our world represented. I wanted to impress my master, prove that he was weak for giving all of this up. In my anger, I had a clean shot, and I took it. Despite the warnings from Pibara, I unleashed a blast that destroyed and destabilized most of Yardrat. My own home world turned to ash. I thought I won, but at what cost? Beerus appeared between the clouds. I had placed everything in that attack. I gave it all up, but I had failed. Our old master and many others were caught in that explosion. He was disappointed in me and never saw me the same way again. I was left a broken man in a world that hated me, feared me, and yet respected me. Pibara understood the pressure, the seduction of power. He allowed me to retreat into a cave. Despite what I had done, my master never left my side, and I never left his. Perhaps to make up for what I had done, I took care of this old hermit until his death. It was a peaceful life, but Suppu passed away one night after telling me of a dream, a premonition he had. One of a Saiyan engulfed in fire, who appeared to him in a dream. One final dream before he took his last breath. I lost it all that night, until you two stepped into my house many years later. Shira, you only wanted what was best for Yardrat, for the universe, for life. You didn't crave power as I had. Son, forgive yourself. It's the only way you can win this fight. Remember that. We all have a side of us we'd like to push away, but it is a part of what makes us, us.
That's deep.
Soba's eyes slowly blanked
That's deep,
out.
brother,
He
that's
wasn't dead. Not yet, but he would be soon. Goku's tears mixed with his aura as he stood up. He whispered to Hatsuka to leave now. Tarbo laid on the ground defeated, while Vegeta continued to try, but before Black could even react, Goku appeared before him and punched him in the jaw. Vegeta tried to say something, but Goku ignored him, as instead Hatsuka grabbed him and teleported cereal. There, Namekians and Yardrats looked terrified, as Granola and Monaito tried to pass around food and supplies to the injured. Neither of them expected this, but they couldn't just say no, especially when other civilians from Planet Cereal brought provisions to help. Everyone gathered around the old Kai's crystal ball, watching the fight. Granola walked up to Vegeta and Tarble, looking at them with disdain, but the deep sadness in Tarble made him realize that at this moment they weren't Saiyan conquerors, they were broken people. Nappa, Paragus, and many others were nursed back to health. Soba was still unconscious, clinging to life. Planet Namek struggled under the pressure of the fight. The Broly and Nail seemed to finally push Black into submission for a split second before he simply dissipated into nothingness. While on Earth, Raditz kept everyone safe. He was going to be arrested. But as soon as the Galactic Patrol appeared, he disintegrated as well. Raditz realized what just happened. He tried to teleport to planet Yardrat once he realized that Goku must be there, but he couldn't. Hatsuka noticed this too. Goku and Black were preventing everyone from teleporting in. Goku and Black clashed in a furious exchange of blows and energy blasts. They teleported all over the battlefield, fighting within the instant transmission dimension itself. Goku summoned all his strength, morphing into his giant form and slamming a colossal fist into Black. But the dark figure countered with a similar form. They eventually returned to normal size, creating clones that filled the battlefield and attacked each other. Goku's shining blue aura became a blur, dodging and countering with a barrage of his own. The two warriors continued to use Force Spirit Fission upon one another. The sheer force of their conflict became a magnetic pull for Genki across the universe, drawing energy like a dark storm. Unbeknownst to them, the dark energy created began to spread. Despite his desperation-fueled attacks, he realized that there was only one way to end this. Others had died for his actions. This was the only way. With a final surge of energy, Goku launched himself, aiming for the planet's core. Black realized Goku's intent and followed with a burst of speed. "You're not escaping me that easily." Goku and Black sped towards the core, their ki creating a blinding trail of light and darkness. When they reached the core, Goku unleashed a powerful blast, creating a pathway to the planet's heart. He dove in, with Black right behind him, clawing at his legs and dragging him back. "That's right, Shira. Destruction. Etch your mark in this pathetic planet and claim it as your own. This ends here." Goku twisted free, summoning every ounce of his strength. "No, this ends with you." He propelled himself deeper into the core, the intense heat and pressure threatening to consume him. Black launched after him as Goku spun and delivered a devastating kick, sending Black reeling. With tears in his eyes, Goku looked at his beloved planet one last time from within. "I'm sorry," he whispered, before channeling all his remaining energy into a final Ozaru breaker. He burst through the core, transforming himself into a living missile. Black's eyes widened and tried to escape, but it was too late. The core ignited into a brilliant explosion, consuming both Goku and Black in a blinding flash of light, fragments of Yardrat scattering across the universe. On Serial, the warriors watched in stunned silence as the sky lit up with the remnants of Yardrat. The loss was profound, but so was the heroism at display. Vegeta fell to his knees, reality sinking in. Raditz clenched his fist, tears mingling with the dirt on his face.
Like, I'm never gonna
Broly
fight
howled,
again.
as those whose lives Shira had touched allowed tears to flow. Granola turned away and cursed. He couldn't allow himself to feel bad for a Saiyan. "My brother is gone." This caught Monaito's attention, who asked if he heard that right. He was that boy's brother? Monaito returned with an old and beaten scouter, one which Raditz recognized immediately. He clicked the scouter on and listened for his father's voice, only for a few seconds before stopping it. His voice was just like Kakarot's, but he couldn't do this without him. As a tear fell down his cheek, Raditz sat down and thought of what they needed to do. The universe was safe for now, but he had lost a brother, and the universe had lost its greatest hero. Murray then stood up, saying that they weren't out of the woods yet. It seemed like the fight between the Gokus had created some sort of energy center that is spreading. Everyone closed their eyes to sense for Yardrat, and realized that yes, Genki was being sucked out of life all around it, but there was still hope yet, as a bright light shone and dimmed on Shira's eyes. He found himself standing in a large building, in front of a giant mahogany desk.
Sacrificing yourself to bring down your other half is what a brave thing to do, my boy.
Shira's breath was taken away, as he slowly turned around to see none other than Pibara. In an instant, Goku ran to hug his older master. It had been many, many years since they saw each other. The booming voice of King Yama spoke, saying to hurry things along. He's only doing this as a favor to Pibara. Pibara explained he was in Otherworld, but unlike most souls here, he has been given a chance to keep his body, recognized as a great hero. As for Black, since they shared a linked soul, only Goku himself passed on to the Otherworld. Pibara praised his son for his bravery, but Goku said that in reality, reality, he had failed. He wanted so badly to push away his Saiyan side that he endangered all of the universe. But Goku felt a hard punch on his arm, turning to see none other than Pui. Come on, the Shira I know would never talk this way. Goku gasped. Pui himself had gotten a chance to keep his body, having become a great champion for justice on his planet. He was happy to see his friend having grown so strong, but nothing they said could cure his pain.
Doesn't he remind you of him when he was young, Ibarra?
A cloaked man with an intense aura descended before the group. You're...
An Namekian. Surprised? I am the god of destruction from a generation ago. My name is Supu. I was Beerus and Soba's master.
Shira couldn't believe what he was seeing.
Soba was once like you, a brave Yardrat who held onto the beliefs we taught him tightly. But he never quite belonged. He was a warrior in a world with no wars. He resented the teachings of Yardrat, which kept him from being who he was. This proved to be his undoing.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Because you and Soba are similar. He pushed away the peacefulness of Yardrat for the sake of power and battle, while you pushed away your Saiyan nature, the strength, and the yearning for a fight.
Goku looked down at the ground. Had he been a fool? We don't get to pick and choose parts of ourselves, my friend. We're the sum of all of our experiences, our genes, our losses, our victories. It's what makes us... us.
While we Yardrat may have given you your sense of justice, it is your Saiyan nature, your desire to surpass yourself over and over again, that helped achieve that justice. It is the choices you made in your journey that matter, not what you could have been.
Shira felt a surge within himself. Suddenly, all of those nightmares he had about the Ozaru, the Saiyans, they all came rushing in. The strength of the Ozaru within has helped him countless times. The joy of fighting Frieza wasn't one out of a desire to kill him, but a wish to surpass his strongest foe yet and defend those he loves. The part of him that Babidi tried to manipulate wasn't inherently evil. Goku had just labeled it as such, but there was something that still tortured him. The voice of the scientist claiming that he be sent away to destroy a planet. He had done that, hadn't he? He destroyed Yardrat.
Black may be gone, but his darkness threatens to overtake the universe. You must make a choice, and I can help you defeat him.
I can't just return to life.
It is true that life and death are both sacred, but if they are one continuous stream, the line between the living and the dead is blurred. If you must defy nature once in order to protect nature itself, then so be it.
Goku took a deep breath and nodded. Then it's settled. I have a friend who can help us out. As the Z-Fighters on Planet Serial discuss their next move, the old Kai warns that without a proper sitting Kaioshin and a god of destruction, then the universe will fall into utter chaos. Suddenly, the voice of Goku sounded off in their mind. Everyone freaked out, but Broly cheered loudly for his friend. Kakarot! Where? Hey Vegeta, everyone. I think I know what I need to do. I have an idea on how to stop that darkness from spreading, but I have to warn you. If you're willing to revive me, Black will come back too. But don't worry, I can stop him. I know I can. I also know how we can bring back Shin and Beerus.
But how are you talking to us?
Yeah, well, Pui has some powerful friends here. We cut to see everyone in other worlds surrounding King Kai as Goku talks through him. He's clearly annoyed, as he just thought Pui was coming back in order to continue his training, but no, he brought guests. Everyone there had been saved or touched by the Saiyan in one way or the other. They didn't want him gone. Those dissenting voices were slowly silenced by the ones that believed in Goku. The Namekian civilians returned to Namek. It was still in ruin, but it would be fixed soon. Raditz teleported to Earth in order to find Bulma. She had previously collected all the Dragon Balls again, and though they were now stone, they were still grouped together. Finally, most of the fighters remained on planet Serial, where we see as Granola holds Bulma's Dragon Radar, provided by her, having just found the 2 Cerealian Dragon Balls. The Namekian Dragon Balls were used to restore the planets brought to ruin by Black, Namek, Earth, Yardrat, and many others. Then, everyone killed by Black was brought back. Piccolo reappeared on Namek, where Nail welcomed him back. Kaioshin and Kibito returned as well, with Beerus waking up on his planet. Kami was also revived, with the Earth's Dragon Balls reactivated. At once, Granola summoned Torombo, and Bulma summoned Shenron. For the first time in history, 3 eternal dragons darkened the sky in their respective worlds at the same time. They all had one wish left. Go on, belt him one for me.
Remember what I taught you, and remind Soba what you are all fighting for. My son, I'm glad I was able to see you one last time. We shall meet again, but before then, I'm glad I get to say this to you in person and welcome you as the new Kami of Yardrat.
Goku's eyes widened. He didn't even know that Pibara knew about this, and as Pibara placed a hand on his head, Goku felt something change within him.
There are an infinite number of lives we could have led, many more
What
where
the
we
hell?
could have never met, but I'm glad that in this one, I could call you my son. Get a move on.
Right. First, Goku was revived
And we
using
got
the
the
Namekian
Goku
Dragon
from,
Balls. He smiled at his friends,
DC Universe.
placing 2 fingers on his forehead and teleporting to
I'm
planet
watching that.
Cereal.
Y'all wanna
Meanwhile,
check that out.
Goku Black reappeared on Yardrat. He was confused. Those he had killed were once again alive. He just thought to himself that he had to kill them again. But as he rushed to strike the first Yardrat, he saw him disappear. In reality, the wish made on the Earth's Dragon Balls was to teleport all the fighters willing to help Goku out during this final battle over to planet Cereal. The dragon's voice echoed in their mind, and those who accepted were teleported in. They all stood before Goku, Piccolo, Nail,
Chi-Chi.
Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, Soba, Yaki, Hatsuka, Tarbo, Abo, Kado, Bulma, Krillin, 17, 18, 16, members of the Galactic Patrol, and some he didn't even recognize. They were all here for this last battle.
There, what's
When
he
Goku
doing?
returned to life and reappeared on planet Cereal, Soba had finally recovered. He walked up to welcome his student, and as they met glances, Soba knew something had changed. Shira could do it.
Welcome back, boy.
I'm glad to be back. Raditz tried to convince 18 to stay behind, that she's pregnant and they can't risk her safety, but she knew she could handle it, especially with 17 and 16 around. She couldn't be convinced otherwise, but he loved her for that. Goku thanked them all and apologized for the troubles he's caused. There was still one final wish to be made. The old Kai brought up a secret weapon, a pair of Potara earrings. If they wanted to end this fight fast and safe, then this was the best bet. Raditz told Goku to wait. He grabbed the scouter from Monaito and ran over to his brother. Goku didn't want to listen at first, but he finally accepted, remembering what those in other worlds said. As soon as he heard Bardock's voice, a shiver fell down Goku's spine. He could hear his father fighting Gas, a member of the Heaters, which Goku himself arrested many years ago. It was clear that he was trying to defend someone, a young Granola. Goku glanced at him, but what really took him back was one of the final lines recorded by the scouter. What's this all about anyways? Are you making a wish on a shooting star or something? But sure, I'd wish that my sons grew up thriving. Everything else was inconsequential. This was all Shira needed to hear. He had a father in Pibara, yes, but he also had a father in Bardock. A Saiyan that, at least in the end of his life, chose to save something rather than destroy it. Finally, the last bit of his blurry memories came to light. The Frieza Force scientists saying that he'd be sent away to destroy a planet were replaced by 2 Saiyans sending him away, telling him to survive. This was the key for him to let go of all his doubts and fears. He wasn't sent away to kill,
Aw.
he was sent away to be saved.
W
to
writing,
live. He was a
Smug.
Saiyan,
W
he was a
writing.
Yardrian, but above all, he was hope. He now understood himself more than ever, and understood that Black was indeed a part of him. Goku shook Raditz's hand. Before turning to the others, it was time to move. Just then, they heard a bright light blasted down. Beerus and Whis. Beerus ran on Goku and pinned him against the wall, Hakai ready to destroy him. Raditz tried to get him off, but Beerus simply flicked him away. Soba argued for him, but Beerus was livid. How could he let a monster like that free? Shin argued that it wasn't his fault, but Beerus told him to shut up or he'll be sealed away in a sword too. But Goku spoke. Suppu, he gave me an idea on how to stop him. I can settle this.
My master. But how did you? You died too, didn't you? Why should I let you?
Because I can be stronger. I can be better. Wouldn't it be a waste to kill me now? Don't you want a rematch? Beerus took a second, but he let go of Goku as he stared him down.
Spoken like a damn Saiyan, alright. If you fail now, I will kill you myself.
Beerus was still angry, yelling at Shin to leave now and stay in the Kaioshin realm. He will be watching the battles. Vegeta was surprised at Goku's response. It was clear that despite trying to push away everything that once made him a Saiyan, he was finally accepting who he was. For once, he understood Kakarot. At that moment, Goku Black teleported in. Ready for round 2? No. I'm ready to bring you back.
Dragon, teleport the fighters to planet Vampa.
What? The barren landscape and eerie silence make it a perfect battleground. As the dust settles on Vampa, Shira steps forward, a determined look on his eyes. Black stares at him and the army. Now this would be a fun fight. Black transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, while Shira takes a deep breath, feeling a profound change stirring within him. His aura begins to shift, glowing with a soft, radiant light. The sky darkens momentarily as the atmosphere is charged with divine energy. His hair, once the striking blue of Super Saiyan, starts to change. A wave of pink sweeps over it, transforming into the ethereal hue of Super Saiyan Rosé. His entire being emanates a serene yet powerful energy, like an angel descending. The transformation was not just a change in power, it signified Shira's rebirth. Now, he was the new Kami of Yardrat, initiated by Pibara. His godly status had altered his very essence, turning his Super Saiyan Blue into this. Black smirks. I like that color better. Without wasting any time, Black begins to divide himself, creating numerous clones to keep heroes at bay. The battlefield erupts into chaos instantly, as everyone attacks from all directions. Nappa commands the army of Cybermen and Space Worms, charging forward with fierce determination, as the new versions of many Cybermen melt together into one single Cyber King. Nail and Piccolo lead the mutated Namekians. The Galactic Patrol, led by Miras, joins in the fray, while Bulma pilots her mech across the battlefield, providing aerial support, while the human Z-fighters protect those they can. Even Grandpa Gohan, despite his age, fights with the wisdom and experience of a seasoned warrior. Granola uses his precise marksmanship to take out as many clones as he can, while Broly maintains control over his intense power. He knows this is Shira's battle, but his support is unwavering. Broly manages to lead one of the clones into the mouth of a Vampa beast, recognizing it as his old friend, Ba. The monster roared loudly as Broly whispered that this fight was for him, lowering himself down as the monster freaked out, but reaching out with the knowledge he's been taught on Yardrat and healing Ba's ear. As the battle rages on, Black begins to feel the pressure, slowly but surely being pushed back. In a desperate move, Black explodes his ki. Black decides to step it up a notch, his body swelling and expanding into his giant form, as Shira follows suit, colliding in a thunderous impact. Each punch, each kick sends ripples through the air. Vegeta and Raditz seize the opportunity to attack Black from below, targeting his legs, aiming to bring down the giant form, as the Cyber King with a mighty roar clamps its jaws into Black's leg. But Goku Black begins to unleash his Force Spirit Fission. The energy wave pulses through the Cyber King, splitting the fusion of the Cybermen back into their individual forms, as other fighters feel their energy being drained away. Even in this empty planet, Black could still find ways to take their energy. Goku knew that the way he was now, he just couldn't outpace the Spirit Fission of Black. They were far too even, and would create another negative energy center like Yardrat. Goku knew there was only one way to overcome this evil half, by gaining a new one. He needed to fuse. Seizing the opportunity, he tosses the Potara at his brother, but as Raditz reaches out, he's suddenly stabbed through the chest by one of Black's energy attacks. He had sent out a clone specifically to stop Raditz. The Broly was now beating him into the ground. The Potara fell from Raditz's hand, a tense silence gripping the battlefield as he collapses, clutching his wound. But the Potara rolled over to the feet of none other than Vegeta. Though he hates the idea of fusion, he understands the dire struggle Shira and the universe were facing. He places the Potara on his right ear. A brilliant flash of light envelops Vegeta and Shira as they fuse into Vegito, the newly formed warrior, a perfect blend of both Goku's optimism and Vegeta's ferocity. His aura and hair shimmering in rose and blue color. Goku Black's expression hardened as he recognized the threat. The epic clash between Black and Vegito begins, shaking the foundation of the world. Their fists collide with enough energy to create shockwaves. Vegito understands Goku Black more deeply than anyone. In essence, he represented two extremes, the Saiyan Prince and the Yardrat Savior. The two sides Goku now so desperately wanted to unite as one. He was the perfect warrior to make Black see a balance of the two. But Goku Black found enjoyment in this, not realizing that Vegeta was subtly spirit fissioning out his own power. Vegito's ability had far surpassed Black's, allowing him to outspeed Black's Force Spirit Fission. Despite the intensity of the battles, Vegito remained cocky. He mocks Black by using clones and firing party poppers instead of real energy attacks, just to scare him, all part of the plan. But Goku Black refuses to give up, rushing Vegeta's way only to be blasted through the chest by a spirit sword. It seems like they could have won right there, but in a crazy moment, Black used all of his Yardrat healing abilities to heal himself as he walked through the sword, reaching Vegito and placing his hands on his head, attempting to split the fusion apart with force spirit fission. But as the crowd goes silent and Soba calls out his name, Vegito's eyes sparkle silver for a moment, and the next thing Black sees is Vegito behind him, holding onto the energy stolen from Black. The evil Saiyan couldn't even perceive Vegito escaping his grasp. Miras could hardly believe his eyes. He had been trying to get Goku to achieve that technique for a while, but it wasn't until he accepted a Saiyan as part of himself that he could do it. Beerus and Whis were watching from outer space as the god of destruction smirked. It was a good thing he didn't kill Shira. It would have truly been a waste.
Looks like you're training dead stick, always.
But as soon as they achieved that form, it left his body, though it did allow him to siphon out even more energy from Black and blast him into the side of a mountain. His ki was so low that they could barely sense it now, but Black screamed out. The roar of the Ozaru shook the planet. The last thing he had was those Saiyan tendencies. He could muster up one final move. Give me one final shot! Give me your strongest attack, or I'll never forgive you! It was clear that he was losing it. Gathering the last remnants of his energy, Black fires one final Ozaru breaker. Vegito, with a sigh, responds by pointing two fingers out. Soba recognizes the move instantly as his own and shouts at the fusion to stop, but Vegito smiles back, telling him to trust him. Pouring all of the stolen energy into the tip of his fingers, Vegito fires back a blast that sucks out all the sound before exploding outwards in a single point. As the blast completely consumes Goku Black, but leaves the planet untouched. Soba watches with pride. The fusion undoes itself, with Goku thanking the prince. Vegeta nods, a rare smile crossing his face. The two Saiyans had reached an understanding. Was it truly over? While Goku Black laid on the ground, defeated and nearly immobilized, he struggled to breathe, his eyes blazing with unquenchable thirst for battle. Goku approaches him. It would be a waste to end it like this. You want to fight on, don't you? Find stronger opponents? Beerus himself said he wanted a rematch. We can do that together. We can pursue that dream. We're two sides of the same coin. No, no. My thirst for battle can never live with your peaceful nature. You're wrong. I can feel the urge to fight. The excitement I felt while fighting you. If my desire to fight remains in me, then I know the desire to protect life is in you. It's why neither Raditz nor Soba are dead. Deep down, you care, and we are not alone. Goku reached into his gi and pulled out a scouter. Black's eyes widened as he hears Bardock's voice. If Bardock, his father, had understood that the Saiyans could be more than death and destruction, then what did all of this mean for him? Black's eyes filled with tears. He understood now. Bardock, a Saiyan who had realized that his race could be more than killing machines, had passed on this wisdom to them. Goku outstretched his arm to his other half. Kakarot, I am you. Black's voice trembles as he replies, and I'm you. Goku placed a hand on Black's chest, and in that moment, a profound energy envelops them. But that was one hell of a fight, right? Yeah, it was. The ground trembles as their form blend into one, harmonizing perfectly. As the light fades, Goku stands alone. The other fighters looked on in awe and relief. Nail recognized what he did. That was something akin to Namekian fusion, wasn't it? Goku nodded. In other world, Suppu had explained how it worked. He couldn't have been able to do this with anyone else, like the Namekians can, but he could synchronize with himself. He didn't think he could do it at first, but the more he fought Black, the more he understood him, and the more it made sense to him. The Yardrat and the Galactic Patrol heal all of those who are injured. Amongst the crowd, a woman looks on at Goku. She couldn't believe the battle she just witnessed, but Goku just smiled at her, and she smiled back. The group returns to Yardrat, but the negative energy remains.
Come on,
spreading.
Gohan, where you
Soba
at,
approached Goku, his eyes filled with pride,
I'm proud of you, boy.
clapping Goku on the shoulder, but Tarble interrupted. This is all fine and well, but what about the negative energy spreading? Goku smirks. Goku instructed everyone to give him some energy, with Raditz being the first one to step up. He wanted to save his planet too. Namekians, Yardrat humans, everyone poured their energy into Goku as he sparkled into Super Saiyan God. He rose up, looking at the darkened world. It had gone through so much pain and destruction, but also so many good memories, so much adventure, so much hope. Goku launched the double helix of life into the planet, purifying the negative energy, cleansing the world and all those around it. Once again, Yardrat blossomed with life. as Goku looked at it with a smile and said, "I love you. I'm so proud of you." Goku turns to the Yardrat elders, bowing his head lightly. "I know I've been initiated, but I understand if you don't want me to be Kami." The elders exchange glances before one of them steps forward, shaking his head. "Well, Pibara won't stop giving us nightmares otherwise. But either way, you have proven your worth, not just in battle, but in spirit. You are more than deserving." With that, Goku is crowned as Kami of Yardrat. As the festivities wind down, Goku looks around at his friends, his allies, and the people of Yardrat. Shin and Beerus also enjoyed a wonderful feast that, at least for a while, kept them preoccupied from the fact that they've been killed. As everyone returns to their home worlds, Granola shakes Goku's hand, hoping they will meet again, while Broly was reunited with his father, though he didn't quite approve of Broly having brought Ba along with him. Surely that was an invasive species, right? Raditz hugged 18, and was then hugged by 17 and 16. Goku watched everyone celebrate, but then Nail tapped his shoulder, telling him that it was time to go. Goku said he'd be right back, as Hatsuka and Soba smiled at him. They knew everything was going to be okay for now. The scenery on planet Namek provided a stark contrast to the battles they endured. He heads to the cave where it all began, where he first saw the visions that set him on this path. The cave felt different now. No longer foreboding, but peaceful and calm. He steps inside, the memories of his journey flooding back, seeing them all in a new light. This time, there were no visions, no cryptic messages, no warnings. The cave was silent, a reflection of a newfound peace within Goku himself. He stands still for a moment, taking in the quiet. Back then, he was left dumbfounded. He didn't think he was worthy of the Dragon Balls. But now, Shira takes a deep breath and smiles softly, looking up proudly as he says, "I know. I have my answer now."
Alright.
Peace has truly returned to the universe.
Okay.
Goku has just been going around the different galaxies, doing acts of service, making sure everyone knew that he really wasn't evil. He even goes back to Earth to check on Kami, as Kami actually apologizes to him for giving him bad advice. But Goku eventually finds a castle completely engulfed in flames, one which he puts out using a Kiai. The Ox King thanks him profusely, as he says that his daughters told him everything about him. That's when Chi-Chi appears from behind, saying that she came as soon as she heard, but it seemed like Goku has it handled. "Hey, it's you!"
Hey yourself. I could have put that out if I wasn't on patrol.
Alright.
Seems like he came down for nothing.
Alright.
Not for nothing. I've got a few more planets to visit. You wanna come?
I don't know. There's this old wizard that escaped recently. Are you gonna tell on me on your brother if I go with you?
Wouldn't dream of it. Plus, I took care of that goat wizard already. He wasn't so tough once I used Force Spirit Fission. You better not jeopardize the universe again. And risk your job being boring? No way. But Chi-Chi's communicator goes off. It's Raditz. Beerus had just contacted them. Apparently, his brother is in town and seeking trouble. He wants Broly, Raditz, Vegeta, Goku, and Soba up there ASAP. Goku was excited to know what this was about. Take a rain check?
If the universe is still here by the time you get back.
Goku smiles at her, locking onto Soba's ki and teleporting away, and wondering just what the hell a tournament was. Whatever it could be, he knew he could rely on his Yardrat training and his Saiyan nature to get him through. The end.
Shout out to SmugStick. Even though it was an hour, it didn't feel like an hour long. It did not feel like an hour long. Shout out to SmugStick. That was a great story, man. All that, like, that fighting and shit, that shit was crazy. I ain't expect none of that shit coming out to that motherfucking hour, but, yeah. Shout out to SmugStick for this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Sorry, I had to burp. Make sure you have to like, comment, subscribe, and check. Let me know what next story you want me to watch next. You know what I'm saying? What story do you want me to watch next? And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.